Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the University of Bremerton. Would you all please stand and sing with me? This is the day. A little unity standard. Way back when, where there was disco. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Hey, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. A little bit faster now. Woo! This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Hey, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has. One more time. This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. We will rejoice. We will rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has. Don't look at the hay. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Hey! This is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. That's how you yourself again.
Good morning.
Didn't do it. There it is.
That
It's better when you turn it on.
ever so magical on button. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just in case you don't know it, you're in for a treat today. We got excellent music. And somebody that I would love to clone. And we have, excuse me, I'm talking.
Except that part.
See, I want somebody to take home that says, yes, dear to me.
He's already spoken about that.
And we have a very fantastic speaker today, of Reverend Margie Hyatt. And we have wonderful visitors, former members, Vicki and Darylyn from Olympia. And who else?
Everyone.
All our regulars, yes! And so we know that Sundays don't just happen by accident. We got our very wonderful board president, Cindy Swink, that makes plans all this and makes good things happen. We have our husband, Mark, that does all the technology that makes all this happen online. We have our spick and span angels, Laura, Mary Ellen, and Ann. Gotta have that coffee. And then we will all be our spick and span angels. And I'm your most gracious host, Norma. And so now we'll have another great music.
Oh, we've done this a few times before. If you haven't, it's really easy. Kind loving spirit is flowing through me now. Kind loving spirit is flowing through me now. loving Spirit is flowing through me now. Thy loving Spirit is flowing through me now. I am that Spirit. Thy loving Spirit is flowing through me now. Thy loving Spirit is flowing through me now. Thy loving Spirit is flowing through me now. I am that Spirit. I am that Spirit. I am that Spirit.
I like that. So I know our guests received their red hearts this morning. And if you are new today at Unity of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know that no matter where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you this red heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each one of us. And we ask that you carry this symbol as a member of this Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The red heart is a symbol of fellowship in the world. You can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. And for those that are visiting for the first time or watching for the first time, we ask that you watch more than once because we do have diversity in different speakers during the week and that until our permanent minister comes next month. So now we're going to light the Christ candle and say our mission statement and our invocation. Or not.
Or not.
Or yes.
Or yes.
Or not.
Or not.
Okay, together?
We are a welcoming community supporting our mutual quest for spiritual truth. There is one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotence.
And now it's time for handshakes and hugs, and we're not going to spend the whole service hugging Margie during this time. We're going to wait till after the service when we have fellowship and we have a much longer time to do that.
I'm like ready to fall apart.
I don't see Dwayne very often. But I do see Octavio, and I have to go there. I have to bring him. He needed some special solution, so I said I would get him back at rubber band. High school. I was thinking about you on the way. You had. This is your first, your second. This is your second. This is your second birthday.
person next to you that recognize the God in you. You're the loving sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. Name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Take a look at we've done here too. Be a loving sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together, we come together, we come together. In the name of love, from every walk of life, every creed and color, we unite. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I got to you. Feel love in sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together, we come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together, we come together. In the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of love.
I especially like the title of today's daily word, ageless.
You're my role model, Marilyn. Go, girl.
Some years ago, back in the 70s, when I was in the shower one Saturday morning in San Jose, I remember I said to myself out loud in the shower, I am an eternal being of light. And I giggled all day long. And it obviously came from my higher self, and I was delighted, and I loved it. And then I thought about it again today, been giggling a little bit today. I am a timeless, ageless expression of spirit. May Rowland, former director of the Silent Unity Prayer Ministry, once said, "Let us forget the idea of growing old and commence to really live. We should not let inactive ideas clog the mind, but let new, creative, life-giving ideas express themselves in and through us." My vision for my life is ageless, as are my dreams. I spend quiet time in prayer, opening my mind to fresh ideas. I give thanks for each new way to express creatively. I have the confidence to try new activities and boldly plan my future. As I reflect on my dreams, I know I have the infinite power of spirit within to guide me. I step out in faith with a youthful exuberance and unflagging energy. And from John 11:26, and everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? Yes, we do. Thank you, God.
So this is another song that I've written. It's very simple. If you haven't seen it before, you'll figure it out real quick. Most of you already know it. Oh, and if you want to go, you can wave. Somewhere. You can do all that if you want. No preference on my side. like a sunbeam to the sun. I am one with God, like a wave upon the ocean. I am one with God. I am one with God. I am one with God. Like a sunbeam to the sun, I am one with God. Like a wave upon the ocean, I am one with God. I am one with God. I am one with God. Like a sunbeam to the sun, I am one with God. Like a wave upon the ocean, I am one with God. I am one with God. I am one with
We have quite the lineup for the month. Today, as I said, we have Reverend Margie from Hawaii. And then next week, we have Reverend Joanna Gabriel, another one of our favorites, with musician Leo Brody, another one of our favorites. And Reverend Simon DeVoyle, I have not heard him speak yet, from Unity of Port Townsend. You heard him? And then on the 29th, we have Membership Sunday, Back to the Basics for new members and a refresher for the rest of us, which will be nice to hear. I look forward to that. And then on Thursdays, we have the Course in Miracles from 7 to 8, and we have several people here that attend that, so if you want to know more about that, you could see Jamie or Debbie Clay. And then an update to Reverend Linda. She has accepted our offer of employment. And so she is packing and saying her goodbyes and will be on her way to join us soon. So it's time for some special music. Well, it's all special.
Sort of special.
It's all good.
God.
of when we lived on Trenton Avenue in the big church. Now, when we were on Trenton, Margie was a real active member in our church there, and she went to Hawaii to spend some time doing some training. Is that the right word? And when she came back, we were discussing some of the things that she did when she was over there. And one of the things that she told me about was taking some classes with Toastmasters. Now, my assumption of Toastmasters, like many things, have been wrong. I thought it was all these old businessmen that were, but I thought I liked the concept of what it was talked about. And I told her I would like to maybe get involved in Toastmasters. It's something I toyed with. And she told me, Nora, if you're that interested, I would be glad to sponsor you and cover the cost of your dues for the first month and joining fees. And I thought, I'm going to take this up on this offer. And I did, and I've spent 4 years there in Toastmasters. And many of you listened to my speeches over the years, practicing it on Sundays for my Wednesday afternoon meetings. And you all know how much I enjoyed, especially giving my humorous speeches and entering the humorous contests. And I got all the way through my competent speaker bronze. But the moral of the story is, most of you don't know that I really was a shy person and will find that hard to believe. But what I got out of that is getting comfortable with being up here and speaking in front of groups that maybe I'm not quite as comfortable with, and be willing to say yes to opportunities that were not always comfortable. And so for that, thank you, Reverend Margie. Without further ado, let's welcome Reverend Margie Hyatt.
No, not all of it.
Good morning.
Good morning, Margie.
It is so good to see all your faces today. I want you to note I'm standing at the lectern. It's the last time we'll be here in this space while I'm talking this morning. It is just such a joy to be here because you all are the people that I started paddling together with when I began my journey as a minister. And I thank and honor each of you who has been part of that experience for me. So it is good to visit home on a lovely fall Sunday morning in Washington State. Paddling is something I have no small amount of experience with. I grew up summering at Lake Chelan, and into the time that I was part of this community originally, my family owned a place at 25 Mile Creek. Now, if you know Lake Chelan, you know this is an early morning experience of the lake. I paddled on Lake Chelan for decades. And I say with some great amount of pride, never once did I fall out of a canoe or roll it and have to turn it back over. Now, I like to think there's some experience, some skill that contributed to that. Probably some of what my father would call some dumb luck. And it taught me a great deal about the journey of life, how to stay upright in the midst of whatever's going on, no matter what those waves may look like. Of course, the other contributing factor to that is you notice this picture of Lake Chelan. These are my preferred paddling conditions. I am a fair weather canoer. And since I moved to Hawaii, I'm a fair weather sailor as well. Now, when I first moved to Honolulu and was working in the church there, my mentor invited me to come along for a ceremony that we call a paddle out, which is a memorial where you take the ashes out and scatter them. And this family was doing that from a group of outrigger canoes. And there was room in one of the canoes after we'd had the ceremony on the beach that I was invited to go along. And I said to the boat caller, I've paddled on a lake in a canoe a lot. And he said, well, will that suffice? Or, I'm a novice. And he said, oh, you're going to do fine. Calm lake. You know the ocean. Not too much. And especially after we scattered the individual's ashes, the delight of everybody in the canoes, in the outriggers, who knew what they were doing, was you go out past the surf line and then catch the crest of the wave to bring the boats back into shore. Do you have any idea what it takes to catch a wave in a canoe with 6 people? I'm telling you, I never worked so hard in any boat in my life. But we did it. I've never been in an outrigger again. Thank you. No. Today's message begins with a Hawaiian wisdom saying. There is a woman in Hawaii who is revered, now passed on, Dr. Mary Kavena Pukui, who compiled a collection of Hawaiian proverbs and wisdom sayings. She began this at the age of 15, and then late in her life, this collection of wisdom from the native Hawaiians was compiled into a book, Olama No'eau, speaking wisdom sayings. And at Unity Church of Hawaii, there's a 30-year tradition of honoring the local native culture through its music, through its dance tradition of hula, and through the wisdom compiled by Dr. Pukui that shares this intelligence of the native people of Hawaii. And once a month we would have Aloha Sunday, and all of the service would celebrate that native culture, and the minister would give the message based on one of these sayings. So today our wisdom is this: Ho'omoe, vahi kahi ke ka'o. You're with me, right? I need a little help too, especially since there's an expert in the audience this morning. Ho'omoe vai kahi ke ka'o means let all travel together like water flowing in one direction. Isn't that a good reminder for moving in life? Yourself, in your own life, to get aligned with the presence of Spirit, to get aligned with your own inner guidance and wisdom so that you can flow easily in the activity of life. Haven't you as a community been called to this task of paddling together, putting the oars in the water in unison? And you know how you paddle in a canoe? You dip that oar in the water, and just as you complete the backslide, you tilt a little J at the end of your swing, so you're paddling straight forward and moving in one direction. When we can do that as a community, we can accomplish moving forward without a spiritual leader. We can accomplish calling the right and perfect leader to serve in this community. I include myself in the we, because I still think I'm part of this place. You all are my Unity first home. And so paddling together keeps us moving on the track that serves us. And as long as my illustration about canoeing begins on Lake Chelan, I thought I'd share a little advice from a lake. If you're familiar with a website called yourtruenature.com, you can find illustrations of wisdom from all kinds of elements of nature, from the animals, from the trees, the forest, the lake, the ocean, a rainbow, lightning. But today, we're on the topic of flowing in one direction like water. And a lake can tell us to be clear. Certainly it was one of the delights of Lake Chelan, is it was a clear, fresh lake to swim in. North Central Washington. Yeah, north of Wenatchee, my hometown. Be clear. Know what your intention for life is. Know what calls you and leads you toward a goal, a destination, a purpose. Now, the journey may not be a straight path. How many times have I said, God, just give me the 5-year plan, step by step by step. God says, honey, just take the one step. Then we'll see where it leads you. But when you know where you're headed, the universe can swell you a wave underneath to carry you forward. Make positive ripples. When you are connected to spirit, to your source, when you understand the truth of who you are, then you radiate the very love that is God into the universe. You are that expression of God's love in every moment in your life. It's so much easier when we remember that truth. So be intentional to create a positive influence in life and in the world. Look beneath the surface. This is one of our principal unity teachings. Yeah, there's all this stuff going on around us, and we're standing in the middle of the pile of poo. Yet, what is that goal? What is that purpose? What is that intention? Raise our vision above the difficulty, surpass the challenge, look beyond the tragedy we are in the moment, have our eye on the prize. Look beyond the circumstances of this instance and know that you are guided and directed forward in every moment by an inner wisdom, by a presence of intelligence that we have direct connection to if we stay attuned, aligned, and aware. A friend of mine in Hawaii says, if I'm in a pile of poo, I know there's a pony. And I will find that pony. Because that's my path out. Some of us may remember Mary O'Malley having frequently been a speaker in this community in years past. Mary's most recent book is The Way Past is the Way Through. No, I didn't do that title right. But it's going through it, not avoiding it, is the route. And just look beyond, look beneath the surface of where you stand in this moment to find the route forward. The next advice from a lake is to stay calm. There's a reason my preferred canoeing and sailing conditions look like calm. It's easy not to roll the boat. Not challenging. But the calm that matters is the interior calm that we hold, that we determine is our natural state. One of the things I learned and hold from Reverend Max Slafser, who served in this community a number of years ago, is an old-time affirmation from Unity Village. Now, Max told me he learned it when he was in seminary. And if y'all are not aware, Max has served more than 50 years as a Unity minister, currently still in Tyler, Texas. 50 years as a Unity minister. I'm going to have to be old, folks. So thank you, Marilyn and Sally, for being such wonderful role models for how to look fabulous and keep going when you're maturing wonderfully. Yeah. Yes, exactly. But the calm that matters is that which we hold here, and that long, cherished affirmation of Max's is, nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. I hear that echoed in the room. Would you like to join me in that? Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Yeah, breathe into that space. Because that is our refuge in whatever may be going on around us, is knowing that there is a centered, still place within us that we can find our wisdom, find our comfort, find our harmony that holds the peace within. Whatever storm rages around us, and unless I'm in the wrong room, I think we've all had a storm or two in life. Woohoo! Talk to me after church, people. Yeah, or 10, Nora, thank you. And take time to reflect. Give yourself the gift of spaciousness in your life. Develop whatever habit soothes you in times of turmoil. In Unity, we teach prayer and meditation as a vehicle to find that centered space of calm. But there are dozens. Try practicing preparing the meal for yourself or your family as a meditative activity. Just be careful how you handle the sharp knives. Michael's beautiful flute and guitar music and the activity of chanting repetitive lyrics that connect us to that higher wisdom help us find that centered place of calm. Many of us appreciate and love a gentleman named Mark Stanton Welsh for his beautiful music, a gift to all of us. After the death of my husband in 2002, which many of you walked that journey with me, there were periods when I said, Mark's music saved my sanity. Because if I couldn't turn myself around in any other way, I'd put on a CD, leave it on repeat, until the mind centered again in the greater truth that lifted me above the turmoil and trauma, the stuff going on at the moment. So, take time to reflect and be full of life. I loved Lake Chelan because it was endless recreation when I was a kid. Dinner could always be had with a fishing pole and a good worm or a jar of eggs. When I was a child, I always had a friend with me along for time at the lake, and we would eat breakfast and run outdoors and not come back until we couldn't not eat again. We played in the water, we played on the shore, we played in the woods around the lake. It was full of life, and we were eager to steep in it as kids, and that never changed for me as an adult. I still love Lake Chelan. My substitute now is the ocean and the shore. Yeah. So take time to be full of life. In Unity, we teach the journey of spiritual development through the 12 powers. And I think it's October, we celebrate the spiritual power of zeal. And a few of you, Joe right here in the second row, are wearing the color that represents the power zeal, which is orange. My friend again with the poo and the pony, he says, live life with zelocity. Live it at full speed, flat out, no cutting the corners. Take it as it comes, give it back fully. Be full of life. And be of one accord. When we are paddling together, things flow more smoothly. For self, when I'm aligned with God, when I remember that the presence that I have access to is a breath away, things go more smoothly. Even in the midst of difficulty. Paul writes a letter to the community at Philippi, and his words were, "So I am asking you, my friends, that you be joined together in perfect unity, with one heart, one passion, and united in one love. Walk together with one harmonious purpose, and you will fill my heart with unbounded joy." That's the journey you've been on in this community for some time. Working to be together of one accord so that you could lead yourselves and one another in this journey of 2 years, I think somebody told me you have been leading yourselves in this process. Be of one accord. Your own heart and mind aligned with the presence, power, and activity that is God. The God of your own understanding. So that you can be together in community. Paddling straight forward not wiggling around because your stroke doesn't have a nice little J at the end of it, but moving collectively together toward the purpose that you now see coming to fruition. Now, here's the secret about purpose and goals. There's always one that comes next. It's just the journey, that moving forward that creates the energy that carries you all together. And when you are operating in this way, this one heart, one passion, one unity, one love, imagine the ripples that move from this place of spiritual activity into this community that is Bremerton, that is Kitsap County, and calls people into this space so that they also may experience the transformation that you all have experienced, may come together for the sake of community, may be together to find their own holy purpose. Eric Butterworth is a beloved Unity minister who also had a long career, almost 50 years, and published a number of beloved Unity books. He found in the writings of a gentleman, Judge Thomas Troward, an English gentleman who had a career as a jurist, and then in his retirement, he followed his pursuit of metaphysical interests. And he became a lecturer, a teacher, an author. And he was a contemporary of our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, meaning that his ministry work was taking place in the late 1800s and forward until his death. And amongst his writings, Eric Butterworth, a Unity minister, discovered the principle of unitivity, which says, wherever spirit is at all, spirit, God, allness, beingness, the whole of spirit must be, because spirit is omnipresent. The whole of spirit must be present in its entirety at every point in space at the same time. Take that in. This is key to who we are and what we teach and what we become in the Unity movement. Eric called this principle of unitivity the heart and soul of Unity itself. Spirit, that creative force, that energy, everywhere present, every moment. No place it cannot be. Got a hold of that? My husband, the physicist, whom many of you knew, used the word non-local to describe those qualities. All right, Deepak Chopra used it too, but I'd much rather quote Hugh Hyatt, because since he danced off into the cosmos, I think when I mention him in my talks, it gives me a little cosmic wink. And who doesn't want that? Yeah. Omnipresent. The Oxford English Dictionary describes it in using it to describe God. Everywhere present at the same time. Our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, who liked just a few more words for just about any topic. God is mind. The one mind contains all, and all ideas exist in the one mind. God is everywhere present. There is no place where God is not. He, I forgive Charles for his male pronouns, it was the era. He is in all, through all, and around all. I prefer the pronoun it. Because the sooner we can lay down the idea that God is some aging white male sitting on a throne wearing white robes, long white beard. Yes? I get an amen in the room. Yeah. Then the sooner we can embrace the idea that what God represents is a creative force, an energy, the matrix, the source, the power behind everything, then we can access that for ourselves. It can be a little intimidating, our childhood images of God. It can be a little separating. And what we want is embracing. What serves us is to take a hold of this idea, of this energy, this power, this source from which we emanate like a sunbeam or a wave. and which we express fully. So the power of unitivity rests in all of us. A quote from A Course in Miracles, a very powerful resource for spiritual growth. In Lesson 38, it says, "There is nothing my holiness cannot do. There is nothing the whole of me, physical self, human self, divine self, there is nothing me and God in wholeness cannot do. There is nothing my holiness cannot do." Did you sign up for that journey when you walked in the door the first time in this place? Do you sign up for that journey today, to be in oneness? To know that there is nothing your holiness cannot do? This is the audience participation. Thank you. Yes, yes. This is where you say, if you choose. If you choose, you say yes to the idea that your holiness can do anything. Yes. Thank you. Such a good coachable bunch. Now, let's practice. If we are going to be all that our holiness holds, then let's step into that today. Let me model for you. I am the light and love of God. I am the light and love of God expressing as Margie Hyde. Now, if you choose to step into that this morning, I invite you to say this affirmation with me together in a moment using your own name. Now, if you choose to use my name, please, I would gladly receive the blessing. But I invite you this morning to richly embrace the holiness that you are. And together, if you will, speak this statement using your own name. I am the light and love of God, expressing as Margie Hyde. Yeah. Breathe in. You've done good. Let's do another one. And this time, I invite you, if you choose, place your hand on your heart. Tap your collarbone, shoulder blade, something, whatever. That's the collarbone. Shoulder blade's at that. Because anything kinesthetic, while we speak these deeper truths, is a signal to the subconscious. Wake up and pay attention, because I intend to be serious about this new idea. Hand on your heart, if you choose, and together, using your name. I am the presence and power of God, expressing as Margie Hyde. Breathe in. I am the presence and power of God, expressing as Margie Hyde. This one has had importance to me for the last several years. Discussion for after church. If you choose. I am the health and wholeness of God, expressing as Margie Hyde. I claim it so. Hallelujah, thank you, God, amen. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I am God, expressing as Margie Hyde. Look at you all. One more time. I am God, expressing as Margie Hyde. Because. Whoops.
Okay.
All right. No. Because there is nothing my holiness cannot do. And so it is. Thank you, God. Thank you, each of you. Warm hugs to come. Much aloha. Thank you.
Tough act to follow there, huh? Now what do I do?
Special music.
You know, special music, that works. They'll get me out. I studied the Course in Miracles for about 12 years, and still do actually, so probably a lot longer than that. And got a gentleman that, Warren Hill, he was the guy that led our class in Unity of Antelope Valley, California, Palmdale. And he said, you know, the course says it's not real. Course members, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, this isn't real, it's an illusion. But he said it sure doesn't feel like that. So I think that, you know, it is. The body's cool, it's all right. It's the learning device, and you've got to be nice to your learning device. So here you go. We're going to talk about you for a minute. Plant your feet on Mother Earth and keep your eyes on the skies above. Every day there will be new birth. In every day we will know God's love. Spirit soars like a bird so high, the wings just lifting you free. And will carry you by and by if you simply let yourself be. Let yourself be what you truly are. Let yourself be and fly so far. Let yourself be, you know it's true. What God created, He gave to you. There is no work to earn God's love. Accepting is all you must do. He gave you life and a heart of love, and all He has is for you. Let yourself be what you truly are. Let yourself be and fly so far. Let yourself be, you will know it's true. What God created, He gave to you. Spirit soars like a bird so high, the winds just lifting you free. Love will carry you by and by if you simply let yourself be. Let yourself be what you truly are. Let yourself be and fly so far. Let yourself be, you will know it's true. What God created, He gave to you. Let yourself be what you truly are. Let yourself be and fly so far. Let yourself be, you will know it's true. What God created, He gave to you. What God created, He gave to you. What God created, He gave to you.
I have not heard that song before, Michael, and I like it. It's my motto. So now it's time for our offering. And as you're preparing your tithes and love offerings today, think about how blessed you are. And as you're writing your check or giving your gift, send your blessings out. And we will have our candles to light.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. 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 I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am and Debbie? Debbie is our lead chaplain. We will bless this together.
Divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Okay, so it's time for our good news, and we're going to start with the board president, because that's what the president does. She goes first.
There should be some benefit to the job, right? Yeah, right. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank everybody who stepped up yesterday and shared in the Manette Fest. We had a wonderful event. We had wonderful musicians. Michael did 2 sessions yesterday. We had Barney Yellowbird, we had David Duval, and we had Dallas Talley. And we've got all of those recorded, thanks to Mark. And there will be a special space on the website that will have the recordings of all the music from yesterday, so you can enjoy it if you weren't able to be here. Yes. We even sold some good books. Yay! That was an accomplishment, people, for those of you. I mean, Margie goes, "God, you still have those good books?" Some things may not go away. Yeah, they're beautiful. So I did want to thank everybody. It was a lot of work. It was our first time, so there were a lot of lessons learned, but it was a good experience. We got people peeking in the door going, "What's going on in there?" So it was a good thing and good time spent. We do have a few fresh faces in the back that missed out on what the Red Heart means, so I wanted to share that with them so that they know what that's all about. If you're new today at Unity of Bremerton, we welcome you in the spirit of love. We want you to know no matter where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcomed here. We know that the world is a better place when we are willing to share our hearts. We give you a heart as a symbol of the steadfast spirit that lives within each of us. And we ask you to carry this symbol as a member of this Red Heart Fellowship. Let it be a reminder that the love of God is always with you and to share your heart wherever you go. The Red Heart, as a symbol of fellowship in the world, can spread love one heart at a time. Let's start the movement here. So now they're up to date. Oh, so now, fresh business. I'm so thankful to Reverend Margie for coming back. I was not present when you were here and your growth and your learning and the educating and stuff. I've been here since then. But it's actually been over 2.5 years that we have been paddling together. Solo, this group, this bunch of hearty, steadfast individuals. And now we're at a very wonderful, pivotal time where we're hiring a new minister. And it's very exciting. I want to reach out to everyone. We've got 4 open positions coming up on the board in October. And so it will be a very wonderful time to become a board member, to be involved in that change and growth and transition and just the excitement. I've been honored to be on the board for the last 3 years. It's been a very
interesting time. I know, only 3 years, does it feel like longer? It must feel longer. But it's very fulfilling, it's very gratifying, it's very wonderful to be wherever you are in the canoe, if you're in the front, the middle, or the back, it's all important how you're doing that little J on the end. It is true. And I anticipate we will continue to paddle together. But we do need volunteers because there's 3 of us that are coming off the board, 3 that are remaining on the board, but there are a total of 4 positions available. So please consider it. It is a worthwhile contribution of your time and your talent. And so if you have any questions, we're all available. And if you're an existing board member, please talk to us. We welcome you to be a part of the future of Unity of Bremerton. Thank you.
And I would just like to commend Cindy for all of the hard work and leading us through this last few
Thank you very much. You know, Cindy, you can do a second 3-year term.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, the limit's 8.
It's on the internet, so now we're gonna vote back in. And I want to second what Tracy says because, maybe her ears were burning before we got here. We were talking when we pulled up about just how wonderful Cindy is, and not just for the good of the church, but for us personally, and how much she has been meant to me in the last year. This last 13 months, 14 months, I could not have gotten through just a move that I've made, a fall, that I took a very serious fall off a ladder, and guess who I called? And who'd been there for me to get me through a move in the midst of all that, and just yesterday. It wasn't necessarily my finest moments during some of the day. And so, thank you. It's, not just what you do for the church, but for different people individually. I appreciate that. And it's for good news for yesterday. I think I get noticed more than I know and I realized it yesterday when we were getting ready to clean up and I was going down the hill to help close up the booth, and this gentleman, I walked by and he says, I've seen you go up, down this hill and back up, at least 5 or 6 times or more that I've counted. And I said, it would be the more. But he was noticing. Anybody else with some good news?
I just wanted to ask the chaplains if we could have a little huddle after the service for a few minutes. I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so with that, we'll stand and say our peace songs.